Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a spellcasting barbarian multi-class with the monk build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. So, the only way that the barbarian can cast spells while raging is as if you're a Way of the Four Elements monk, since their spells actually are just actions. So, we can do some cool things with this build. So, we're going to start off as the monk. We get ourselves a nice flurry of blows, bonus action, key point, ability to do this extra attack that hits twice. So if we have any damage riders on our attacks, it'll be doubled, which is really nice. We also get our unarmored defense. We add our wisdom modifier to our armor class. If it's we're also going to get the constitution defense from the barbarian, which will do the same. But for our stats, I think it's actually best to go high in dexterity, which will give us armor class. We do need a good amount of wisdom and a good amount of constitution as well. Now, the way to make this the most powerful is actually to dump our strength and use strength potions. So I would encourage you to go that route because it's just going to be a whole lot stronger. So we can take our wisdom up. Ideally, we can get the wisdom up to 16, and then we're going to put our... Ideally, if we can get our constitution to 15, that's nice because then we can at least use the tavern brawler to take that up another point. But if not, you can leave it around there. I'm just going to go with these stats here for the purposes of this, and then for our skill proficiencies, take acrobatics to resist being shoved, and then insight or religion or history, your choice. But as we go through this build, I'll cover the gear at the end. This build's actually kind of strong in terms of things that you can do that you may not expect it to be able to do. So at level 2 monk, we get ourselves increased movement speed by 3 when we're not wearing armor or we're using a shield, and we get the patient defense, disengage, and dash. So nice to get those there, bonus actions. But at level 3, this is when we get to choose our subclass, the Way of the Four Elements. This will gives us a harmony of water and fire and water, which when we're not in combat, you can regain half your key points rounded down. And then we get to choose our Disciple of the Elements. So these are our spells, basically, that we can cast while we're in our rage form. So I really like the Sphere of Elemental Balance, but not a lot of people would like that one. The Water Whip, however, is nice because we can knock a target prone, which can give us advantage on our attack rolls against them, or we can also pull them towards us and knock them like off of cliffs and things like that. The Fangs of the Fire Snake's pretty good too, so this will hit your opponent from far. Your next melee attack deals an additional 1d4 fire damage. I think this is one of the best ones. Fist of the Unbroken Air is also quite nice because it has a knockback of 6 meters and knocks the target prone, so I like to go with typically those two. And then for the final one, Water Whip is pretty solid. This is a pushback, this is a pull towards you, so you get a nice variety of movements with this. So we're going to go with that there for our level 3 selections. At level 4, we get ourselves a Slow Fall, so we gain resistance to fall damage and an additional key point, and we get ourselves a feat, where I think it's actually best if we're going to take up our ability score, Dexterity. Now, you could have went with the Hags here to take that up to 18, and this will take it up to 20. If you don't have the Hags here, you can also increase your Wisdom. That'll increase some of the damage that we do, but I actually think it's good to add in the Tavern Brawler, because this allows us to add our Strength modifier twice to the damage and attack rolls with unarmed attacks, which is something we're going to do often. And you can also throw things as a Berserker, or as a Barbarian, so pretty cool. And then we can also take our Constitution up to 16, so this all works out very well for the feat selection. At level 5, we get ourselves the extra attack, and this is where, after this, we can add in the Barbarian if you choose. We also get Stunning Strike and Unarmed Strike, so pretty cool. Also your racial trait. I went with the Monk because Darkness is really great. Or I went with the Drow because Darkness is really great. At level 6, we do get the Key Empowered Strike, so you can wait until after this level to take our next spell. I'm also a fan of the Clench of the North Wind, so this is basically hold person, hold enemy still, attacks within 3 meters, always critical hits. You can see why that's really good for us. Embrace of the Inferno is nice, but I don't think it's as good as going with hold person there. So we can take that. And at level 7, this is when we can actually just add in the Barbarian. This gives us Rage. And it also gives us a unarmored defense based on our Constitution. And we can also use a shield with this version of it. So if you wanted to roll a shield, I don't fully recommend going shield, but you can. We also get Danger Sense at level 3, and then our Reckless Attack. But at level 3 Barbarian, this is where you get a choice. We can go with the Wildheart, and we can also go with the Berserker. So this will give us Frenzy as our action, gives us Frenzied Strike and Enraged Throw, and then provides weapon. But these are bonus actions. We are already pretty tied up with the Monk's bonus actions, so I think that the Wildheart Barbarian's best, and the Bearheart. So this gives us the resistance to all damage types except physical, or except psychic. So we gain a ton of damage resist, so damage to ice, fire, acid, poison, physical damage. It's extremely good. I really like the Tiger Heart, but the Bear Heart is obviously the best choice here. Since we're going to be a lot more tanky while we're casting spells. And in addition, we also get the Unrelenting Ferocity, which gives us a heal too. So even better, we get ourselves a lot more survivability at this phase, which is really nice. The resistance to damage is huge. At this point, you can switch back to Monk. I think it's best to actually go back to the Monk. And because at level 3, we get ourselves Evasion, so your agility lets you dodge out of the way of certain spells. When a spell would deal half damage on a successful dexterity saving throw, it deals no damage. And if you succeed, you only take half damage. So, or if you fail, you only take half damage. That is really good just to flat out reduce the amount of spell damage that we're taking. It's really, really effective. Now, for our next feat, we can go with an ability score improvement. We can also go with Alert for +5 initiative. I think here the best choice is to take our dexterity up. Ideally, you would have used Hags here to take that up to 20, because that'll give us a little bit higher armor class. So whatever armor class we see at the end here, give it a +1. And for our final level, we get the advance on our movement, so difficult terrain doesn't slow you down. You can jump an additional 6 meters. We also get the improved elemental casting. Your affinity with Ki deepens, so several of your 4 elements features deal additional die of damage, and our hold person, Clenched to the North Wind, can hold an additional creature, so nice. And if we go with the Embrace the Inferno, this does an extra array of damage. However, there's a few choices you can go with. If you want Ice Knife, you can go with that. Fist of the Four Thunders does give us another pushback that can be used on multiple people. The Shaping of Ice is funny, but I think Embrace the Inferno is a good one, or even Gong of the Summit. I'm going to go with the Embrace of the Inferno, though, because it's a nice spell to get. So, typically, our way of going about this was we'd want to get into our Rage Bear Heart to give us our damage resistances. So for gear, I have the Bone Spike helmet, so when you rage, hostile creatures must succeed a Wisdom saving throw or take 2 to 8 psychic damage. And targets receive half damage on save, +2 intimidation. The nice thing about this is menacing attack is per turn, so you can continually do this menacing attack and potentially get frightened on attacks, which is massive. We have a nice 25 armor class, so that's quite solid. We can take that up to 27 there with this with a shield. You don't really need a shield though, because that will get rid of your jump distance. So having the Blade of the First Blood in the offhand gives you a +1 armor class, which is nice. Vest of Soul Rejuvenation. Whenever you succeed a saving throw, which is going to be often, we regain 1 to 4 health, and anywhere we can use a reaction to make an unarmed strike against any attacker that misses, +2 armor class. Cloak of Protection, Ring of Protection for +1 armor class. You can also go with the, if you really want to really buff up your armor class, you can go with the Evasive Shoes. We would have 27 armor class here at base with the Dexterity at 20. So that would have been a little bit higher. And then with this, it would have been, we could give ourselves a 30 armor class. So that's pretty good. But I like to go with the Boots of Uninhibited Kashigo because these will give you additional damage equal to your Wisdom modifier with unarmed strikes. Pretty nice. Gloves of Soul Catching, huge. This is pretty much essential because it gives us an additional 1d10 of force damage. And once per turn on unarmed strike, we can regain 10 health. Or we can get advantage on attack rolls and saving throws until the end of the turn, +2 Constitution. We got 141 health. I also have the Amulet of Greater Health, so if you don't go with that, this will help keep our Constitution very high. Ring of Protection, and Killer Sweetheart for the critical hit. Now, the way we typically want to go into combat is we want to go in and we want to get raging right as soon as we can. Because once we're in rage, then we can also continue to cast our spells. I unfortunately can't show that because it won't get me into combat, but we also have things like Reckless Attack if you want to give yourself advantage on attack rolls, but we do get cool spell selection, like we get ourselves the Embrace of the Inferno there, and that gives us some pretty decent damage. We were hitting critical hits there, and then you can get yourselves the Unarmed Strike there, so I lost that there. But Fangs of the Fire Snake even is another choice that we can go with. That hits quite hard, and then we can follow it up with another attack there. And that took out Shadowheart. That was pretty good. So these damage riders really add up. I am using a strength potion to get my strength to 27, which gives us a +8, which is massive. And then we also have attacks like the Fist of the Unbroken Air, which just knocks people flying. This is a really fun one to use because the pushback is huge. It's 6 meters of pushback. And then we can also use the Water Whip there, which will deal bludgeoning damage, and we can pull people together or knock them prone. So you can go with that there, and that'll give you an advantage on your attack roll, which is awesome. And then you can also follow it up with even like a the unarmed strike there. So that is another option. I also think that it's even just good to you can go with no weapon and just roll with your unarmed strikes, because the monk's pretty good at that. So I'll also show you another option that's going to be more focused on like elemental damage, but even our punching attacks hit hard. So that was 24 plus 8. Not bad. Not bad at all. Unarmed strikes are kind of the bread and butter of this build, so we can regain our key points. We took him out, no problem. So yeah, then we got our Flurry of Blows bonus action dealing up, which is 71 damage. So that's pretty good. I guess we have a bunch of reactions here, but the Flurry of Blows will deal a ton of damage. 20, yeah. You can Flurry of Blows twice and take someone out. That's crazy. So if you have 2 bonus actions, which you can get pretty easily from, if we were to add in like the Rogue, I guess. But extra bonus action just means that we're going to deal a ton of extra damage. But we can also add in the Pyro Quickness hat. I'm not sure if this will allow us. I guess we can just test it right now. If we get that extra bonus action. Nope, doesn't count as a spell. So, yeah, this is only for leveled spells. But even just going with, like, the Horns of the Berserker is another great choice you can go with. I'm unfortunately killing all my team. This will deal additional necrotic damage, which is nice to have. But, yeah, we got lots of options with pushback, fire damage. Just overall really strong attacks that will take out the enemy really quickly. And you can just kick them and knock them out. So, yeah, this monk is very powerful. And I'm not even in the rage yet. But that would give us half damage from all sources, and then we also take half damage from spells. So we're getting a lot of damage resist here. I really wish I could show off like the amount of damage negation that we got there, but we punch pretty hard. And then alternatively, I guess another option that we do got is to add in another different type of weapon with something like the Flail of the Ages, because this will give us a bit of... What's nice about this is we have the Elemental Age, and then we can go with like acid damage, cold damage, or fire damage, and this will give weakness to cold damage, so we can buff ourselves up with that and support a Storm Sorcerer if you got one of those on your team, because then they're going to be chilled with this. So that is a nice little bonus there. You can continually punch, kick, and attack with your weapon there, and then you do your reckless attacks, take out the enemy, no problem. So yeah, this build's really powerful. We also get ourselves, I guess I can put back on our Menacing Strike Bone Spike helmet there, but Menacing Strike's really nice because we get to use this once per turn, so you can possibly frighten the target, which is great. It says available next turn. It'll refresh in a second there. And yeah, Menacing Strike is a huge buff, so I really like that. We're not able to get the save off on him, but then we also have a Concussive Smash from the Flail. So yeah, you get a lot of options with this because you can go with strength-based weapons or dexterity-based weapons, and then you also have your unarmed strikes as well. So lots of fun with this build because we got a ton of... Oh, reckless attack there. Gave us the ability to hit. Yeah, reckless attack is great, and then we also have our unarmed bonus strike. So we got lots of ways to deal damage, rather from our actions or our bonus actions, and even using the chi points there. So I thought this would be a pretty interesting build since... oh wow, she's healing herself a bunch. So yeah, the best part about this build is the high amount of damage that you can give yourself, and we got lots of options for main hand attacks or even our offhand punching attacks. So we're not going to be able to out-heal Karlach's healing there, but we're going to try, as she's healing herself way too fast. But yeah, this build is the only way you can cast spells while you're in your rage form, so that is pretty cool. I guess I can attack. It won't get... I don't have any spell slots to show, but if we attack someone else... wow, they don't care if I attack Volo. They really don't care if I attack Volo, but if I attack the Duke, they'll come after me. Oh. Hail. Just gonna attack, and show you guys that when we're in our rage, if it'll let me go first, everyone can't move. So when we go into our rage, we'd be able to still cast our spells there. So yeah, we don't have the chi points to be able to do that, but yeah, this is how you can rage and still cast spells. So the Wildheart deal an additional 2 damage with our attacks and resistance to all damage types of psychic. So if you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, yeah, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.